Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show. Here live, we've got our guy Steele Chambers, who is unzipped and unbuttoned, like all the way down, ready to rock, looking good. That's Kate Stover approved right there, I would say. I don't know how many cows you can feed in an outfit like that with the pastel blues, but you look good, Steele, and that's what matters. Steele is live to you from outside of Georgia. I am live from you from Curacao, which I thought was Caraco when I was looking at how to spell it. My ignorant English or American knowledge of the world. Steele, someone's like, no, dude, that little squiggly thing, that makes it French, and that's Curacao. It's part of the ABC Islands, which is Anguilla, Barbados, which is where Rihanna's from, and then Curacao, right there along like the northern tip of Venezuela. And Steele, I'm actually out so far east that I'm on, I don't know what the time zone is ahead of Eastern time, but we're like an hour ahead of Eastern time, which is pretty cool. I hate being behind, so like an hour ahead. It's like, man, this is kind of good. I'm waking up and everybody's an hour behind me. Like this is pretty sweet. I get a little more sleep and feel good about life and about the world. So doing that, going to support our troops down here, and excited to come to you from this part. But the real thing I was excited about, Steele, to tell you the truth, is like, we do these shows, and this is your second full week. Mm-hmm. You're already going viral with your guy, Bryson Shaw, former teammate of yours, a guy that I liked at Ohio State. I thought, and he was like, and still, here's the thing, kind of like your path. Especially when you change positions, a little more developmental. And people use that term like developmental. It's like game manager for a quarterback, as if that's bad. Like not everybody rolls in like JJ. Like I played like middle of my second year. I get bigger. I had to get stronger. Like my first year, I could play some, but I wasn't ready for like a full 18-game season. I wasn't like one of the Bosas coming in like rocked up and ready to go. And so some guys are on like their own timeline, especially with what they're being asked to do, what they did in high school. And I always like Bryson Shaw. I thought he would be able to be a good player at Ohio State. He was in, where is he relative to you still? Did he go in like your third year? He was in your class. Hold on. So this dude's in your class. And you're telling me he's still playing at USC?
No, he's done now. He finished up 2 years ago. So he played a year after I left, and then he was done.
Okay, I thought so, but he showed the clips, and he's talking about USC is going to go get the Bucks next year. I'm thinking, there's no way this dude can still be playing, because I thought, like you said, I thought he was around your age.
No, yeah, he's my age, but I told him he's got to work on his replies as far as like putting out clips out there. Because, Ohio State fans, they're going to find the worst clips of you, and they're going to throw it in there. That's exactly what they did, and it pissed him off.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Is he a West Coast guy?
He's from Maryland, but he's living out West Coast with his girlfriend right now.
Okay. And he went to USC, probably stayed out there. And, I get that. I understand it. So that makes sense for him. But, do we have the clip, Pat? Can we throw that up there just so we can kind of take a little dive inside of this? Steele being a proud Buckeye alum, was kind of clapping back. And I get this. This is a big year for USC and Lincoln Riley. Steele, if you would have told me that USC would have joined the Big Ten, they would have expanded the playoff to 12 teams, and it would have been going on for 2 years, and USC still wouldn't have been in. USC, I believe, has never made the college football playoff. Man. I don't believe so. And now in 12, so it started in 14. We're now all the way going into the 2026 season. The last 2 years, there have been 12 teams. In USC, the men of Troy, they have never been in, which I don't know, Steele, and you're a little younger than I am, but when I was my era, we're talking Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, you even roll a little bit further, they were still rolling into the 2010s until Pete left. And I don't think that anybody would have ever envisioned this being the case.
Not at all. Whenever I grew up, USC was the talk of the town as far as college football. I thought Reggie Bush, he was the coolest player to watch on TV. Matt Leinart, you had nothing but championships and Heismans over there. And as I developed more and got more into football, they just sort of went to the wayside. And then you had teams like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia kind of coming into that role as the premier face of college football. And his argument was that even with even though with them not being good now, they still have everything in the past to kind of prop them up and say, we're still a face of college football, which makes no sense because the past 2 decades, they've been basically irrelevant. They've had a couple years. They got close to the not national championship, but the playoff back whenever they lost to Tulane and we got in instead of them. So they're just not really in the talks right now. No one's talking USC.
I forgot that they played Tulane that year and Tulane beat them. And so here was Bryson Shaw. I guarantee you they beat Ohio State in October, whatever the date is there. Talking about their receivers, yada, yada, yada. They don't get it because you guys live in a bubble. After your sweet big 8-4 season for you next year, baby. Like it was amazing. And then your comment, your retort, if that, what does it say? That bubble is called success. Give me a holler when you find it. Like that's tremendous, Steele. I didn't know you had that game in you, to tell you the truth.
Now that I'm starting to get on Twitter, I've been on it for about a week now. I realized that I have somewhat of a talent for it. I'm a very sarcastic person, and being able to tweet it kind of makes it a lot better for me, because you can't really sense the sarcasm sometimes whenever it's just a tweet and I'm not talking. So I'm going to try to stay off Twitter because I don't like being on social media that much, but I'm finding it very fun.
So have you talked to Bryson at all? Like, did you text him offline about this, or is this just living?
Okay. No, we talk all the time.
Okay. So like he knew about this, and like there's an understanding going back and forth. Do you think, I guess we're out at USC this year, picked up by 11 Warriors. You're talking about throwing the shade back and forth. I mean, there was a lot of jazz going back and forth between you guys, Steele. Like, I mean, did your mom say anything to you? Did anybody reach out to you about, you starting the fire there?
Herb Street reached out to me, little Herb
Did
Street.
He really?
No, Zach Herb Street.
Zach, yeah, who was there with you, correct?
He said he was pissed they didn't get in on it.
Really?
He picked it up late. He called me saying, like, dang, I wish like I got on there. And I started like fueling the fire a little bit because he loves that excitement. But initially, like, we didn't know about it. I saw the tweet. I figured, you know what? He's probably had like a really nice day. I kind of want to ruin it. So I had the 8-4 comment, and knowing him, like, he gets pissed off very easily. So he jumped on the bait. I reeled him in. And then after that, Buckeye Nation had my back.
That's great. So you said you just got on Twitter. Like, did you have an account, and you just didn't use it, or are you like now more active? Like, how did this transpire?
I had an account that apparently had been kind of posting decently, but I got in some podcasts. They said to like start sharing some clips on my Twitter. I said, "Oh, I have a Twitter," and they were like, "Yeah, like we follow you." So do some searching, realize I have one. I was able to get access to it like a week and a half ago, and now I've just been tweeting out random stuff.
So are you on any social media still? Like, were you?
Yeah. I mean, I started late. I think I never had my Instagram until like 2022.
So like by the time you were kind of ending college.
Yeah. Like the later years of college, that's whenever I got Instagram.
Do you have TikTok?
Yeah.
It's a fascinating conversation for me.
That's just to watch like random clips of dogs and sports content.
Sports. Well, listen, I tell people social media is the modern day newspaper. Like that's where I get all of my information from. I try to curate my feeds. I get on my wife because she looks at nonsense on there. I'm like, listen, it's sports, some conspiracy theories, some faith-based stuff, some workout stuff. And that's pretty much, and then like my friends, like that's really all that I'm looking at on there. So I guess there's not that. I think it's crazy that you went really your whole time at Ohio State being there when you were without being on social media at all. Like that is wild to me.
I was an outdoor kid. I never played video games. I was never really on my phone.
Did Tommy and Cade play video games?
Our freshman year, yeah, they were big into, I think it was Fortnite. And then Cade, he had his farmer simulator that he liked to play a lot.
Hold on. Farming simulator?
Yeah, he has a farmer simulator game.
It's like a real game, or is this like farmersonly.com? Like you have to be a legit farmer to have this?
It's a real game. It's just, I believe it's just farming, but with a controller.
Okay. I mean, I feel like we're learning a lot of new things. We're unpacking some layers here, learning about you and your boy, Bryson, and then learning the fact that none of you guys, because those guys really aren't on social media, are they?
No, Tommy will dabble on there once in a blue moon. Cade a little more, but not really. But for the most part, we were a pretty unconnected household.
Did your teammates think you guys were weird?
Ooh. A tad bit. Okay, how do I explain this? Cade, not so much. Tommy, no, because once you get to know Tommy, you kind of understand that weird outer layer that he has. For the majority of Buckeye Nation, they're probably very confused whenever they look at Tommy. Me, I was the more awkward soul of the group as far as just the stuff I did. But I think for the most part, we were a pretty regular old bunch.
Okay. I mean, I'm just curious. Like, Steele, I mean, we had Facebook that started when I was in college. You just have to do it from like a computer.
Mhm.
And so that was kind of a deal. Ohio State was one of the first schools to get it. And after that, I didn't get on Twitter till like the end of my NFL career, like 2012. I thought that was kind of late. Got on Instagram, like, I don't know, 15 or 16, maybe 17. People can check the date on that. I have no idea. So like slowly started, maybe 17, slowly started to build to that. I'm not on TikTok or anything, but I find it interesting that, you know, with where you guys are in your age and like the spectrum of what was being done in college, like, isn't that how everybody like picked up girls and stuff? I mean, we just DM slide. Was that not a thing?
I've never done it myself, thankfully. I had the pleasure of meeting my girl through high school, and I just knew her through there.
Oh,
But I mean, yeah, if people are sliding through DMs, I know I'll throw them out there. Tommy's done it a couple times.
Really?
A couple of the lines were pretty sweet. There was one where like he throws a dog into the chat. He says, "Oh, sorry, lost my dog."
that is awesome. Gosh, that is the best.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like there's some clever stuff. If I was a girl, I'd reply to that. That would get my attention immediately. But yeah,
sorry, I lost my dog.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people meet nowadays, man. Social media.
What a scoundrel. That's a great little line.
Yeah, dude.
That is, you guys, I don't understand. I mean, for everybody out there, I went over to Tommy and Steele and Cade's. They had like a cookout one night in the winter. Like, hey, stop on over. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm going to stop over like kind of earlier. I had 3 of my 4 kids with me, and you guys had like the Traeger, like the smoker outside. You'd like done some ribs, some brisket. Like the food was really good. I walk into this house. Pat, you'll love this. I walk in there. There's not even any music playing. Like, it's dead silent. People are just sitting around, like kind of casually drinking a beer. I don't even know if the TV's on. I'm like, what is going on in here? Like, this is a college party. We'll call it that, or get together. I wouldn't call it a party in any stretch. Then there's like some girls that are sitting there. I'm like, do they not think this is weird? Because I feel like it's weird. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to get murdered or have like a brisket sandwich here. Like, could go either way. And then Steele's like, let me throw on the Top Gun soundtrack, as if that made it any better. I'm like, okay, so we're going to throw on a soundtrack from 35 years ago, and that's going to make it normal. I mean, it did provide some level of music. I was like, I've got a Bluetooth speaker in the car. I can bring it here if you guys need that. I mean, I thought you were on like the edge of NIL. Now maybe you're making like 25 grand and not like 2.5 million, but like we're talking about getting like a basic Bluetooth speaker.
I mean, we had speakers. We just weren't using it. We like chit chat. We like conversation.
I get that, but you can have like a subtle, like you don't have to have it be a 3-alarm rager. It could have been like a subtle music behind it, Steele, like just kind of lower to kind of break up the silence, if you will.
Well, we thrive in the silence. That's the thing. Like we are okay with it. We don't play music. Of course, we all love music, but we didn't play music that much because we're just talking about random stuff. And if it makes it any worse, all the girls, I'm pretty sure one of them was Cade's sister. I had a couple other sisters, maybe. So like they're all family, people that we knew. So like,
is it Cade's sister that's dating Sawyer?
Yeah.
You say that like sad, like yeah. Hey, what's wrong with that? Jack's a good dude.
Oh no, he's a great dude, but Cade, he's iffy about that.
Really? Jack's a pretty good guy, I think.
Oh yeah, of course he is. He's a very protective man.
Yeah. Well, it's good because I would like to watch those two. I mean, should something happen, watch them go at it. It would be like Godzilla versus King Kong. Like, it would be a great battle. You know, hopefully it's outside so they wouldn't get break anything. But I mean, dude, we could just put them like base block. You know, you could just put them in an individual drill. Like, what are we talking about? Like, hey, Tommy, Cade, base block Jack, and that can be the drill for how like family supremacy.
Yeah,
but I mean
they face each other, I believe, in the wild card game.
Yeah,
I think it was the wild card game.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh. Yeah.
That's
good stuff. Yeah, I love that Cade. I can see where he's pretty protective of his sister, and I get it. I mean, there's not too many guys that I've played with. I told my wife, I don't know if I'd ever want my daughter to marry a like college or football player, because there's a lot of chances to get it wrong. But I think if you get it right, Steele, you get it really right. Because the guys who I know are good dudes are really good dudes. but there's just a lot of other guys along the way that like might be a little bit bumpy and may not be as good. All right. We're long for a break here. We'll talk about that. You got a couple sisters. We could see if we could go through your list of teammates and see who you'd like them to date if you want. Or we could dive into the real wide receiver who was talking about it. The Sporting News Offensive Player of the Year. He had some comments. We'll hear what he had to say here coming up next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. But first, a message from our friends at FanDuel. You know how fast the NFL game days move. One big play, everything changes. That's why live betting on FanDuel. It's a game changer with FanDuel. You can bet in real time while the game unfolds. Score just flip, jump on a new spread or a live money line. Wide receivers heating up, bet the next touchdown score or total yards. Think that drive stalls in the red zone. Take a live field goal prop or fade the total. Live player props, team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets. It's all there. It's fast. It's fun. And with FanDuel, your live bets move as quickly as the game does. So whether you're riding momentum or fading big plays and the hype, FanDuel puts you right in the middle of every moment. Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the app and bet NFL live all season long. Must be 21 older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, 18 older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Every winning play starts somewhere. For you, it could be with us. At Smart Choice Bass, we bring the showroom to you with no pressure and no long sale pitches. Just real options that fit your home and budget. This is your opportunity to win a full bathroom remodel for free. It's easy to enter. Just scan the QR code below, give us a call, or stop by one of our showrooms. One lucky winner will be announced every 6 months, so don't wait.
Back at you live from Curacao here at the Marriott Beach Resort. Looking pretty nice over here. Feeling good about everything. A little peek here. Let's take a little look over. Oh, yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Tropical.
got some nice little tropics hanging out there, feeling good about life. Serving our troops here and getting a chance to go visit with some of them here later today. Jackson Smith-Njigba, leading receiver in the NFL this year, did a hell of a job. Sporting News Offensive Player of the Year. We'll see if he gets the AP Offensive Player of the Year. I hope he does. It's obviously a huge honor. I think he led the NFL in catches, if I'm not mistaken, this year. He was asked when he was at the podium this week and started talking about it. Wide receiver U. Let's take a little peek.
I would say, when you look at the list, it's a long list and it's about to grow even more. And I think it's just too much elite talent, from top to bottom in the league and, guys that were in the league past years. So I think when you bring it all together and you look at the names and what we've done, I think, there's no question now.
Do you like his outfit there, Steele? Are you stamping the sunglasses, the white shades on the indoor?
I personally wouldn't do it, but I think it looks great on him. I never understood the sunglasses inside thing, but he looks good doing it.
I think you have to be on another level of cool, and that's probably why. Like, you don't understand. I don't understand it either. But I mean, if you're going to catch the ball like he does, one-handed, and dance around and make the plays he does, that's great. But it's awesome to see this. Nick Pedone was talking about this, which was awesome. Ohio State developing wide receivers, and he asked him about this as well. One of our friends over at Big Play.
Just growing as a young man, finding myself, during those college days, on and off the field, and being around some special people that I still call friends, to this day is awesome. But the competing at Ohio State and the development at Ohio State is second to none. So,
what's your pitch to NFL teams to draft Carnell Tate?
You want a dominant receiver, explosive receiver, for sure. Throw him the ball, he's going to make plays. Get a Ohio State Buckeye receiver.
I love that. You want an explosive guy going to make some big plays. Steele, you were there with Jackson for what, 2 years? 3?
3 years.
3 years. What makes him so special? Because he was like a highly recruited guy, but I don't know if he was like – it wasn't like Jeremiah Smith when he came in. I mean, he ended up playing his way into being great, but of all the guys kind of his class, I don't know if he was like the most heralded guy you were going to find.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I thought he was like highly talked about whenever he came in, but then whenever he showed up, I mean, just the best routes I've ever seen run by a guy. Tom Brady talked about it a little bit in the NFC Championship game. Whenever he runs routes, he's at the same level the entire time. Like there's no clue like he's coming down like he might like get out of a break. It's impossible to get a read on where he's going. And then you pair that along with just the absolute work ethic he has. I mean, got guys like him, Marvin Harrison, and Mecca Igbuka coming in for hours to just catch balls on the machine for like 100 or so, like 200 reps. So like you just pair that competition that they have with one another with the natural skill, and it's just you're seeing why Ohio State's just a wide receiver factory because it's continuously guys coming in and doing exactly what they set out, like the blueprint, and it's just showing success over and over, year and year.
So, I'm around the Woody a decent amount. And it seemed like every time I walked in on the indoor, that Monarch machine was out there and somebody was on that thing. You were obviously playing with a lot of those guys. And, before they got that, they used to have to do the old manual machine and they'd feed them to each other, the manual jugs machine. But still, it seemed like more often than not, regardless of day, regardless of time. And there was one year I was over there, Steele. I'm trying to think what year it was, where it was after Thanksgiving, like it was like the Wednesday going into Thanksgiving, and I think you guys had the day off, and I don't know if you were playing even at this point. I think you were maybe done. I think it was maybe 23, and everybody's getting out of there to go see their families. And Marvin is in there by himself, and practice have been cleared. Everybody's done. It may have been Thanksgiving Day, and Marvin's out there just catching balls like by himself. And I couldn't believe that a kid that grew up like him, whose dad's a Hall of Famer, that could easily be incredibly entitled, was somebody who was working like that. And that was like a work ethic that entire room had. And so when you walk on the indoor, was it more common for you to see somebody actually like working or it be empty?
More common to see someone working. More times than not, there were going to be at least a bunch of wide receivers in there catching balls on the jugs machine. And that's a lesson that Marvin got from the guys prior to him. I mean, you had Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. They instilled that work ethic into him, and he just took it up another level. And I think that's what we're seeing at Ohio State. Like they already had talented receivers coming out, and now you're seeing guys like Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate that are trying to get to that next level, and it looks like they're going to because they have the talent, and now they're just pairing the work ethic into it, and it's just an unstoppable force coming out of Ohio State if you're a wide receiver. I mean, these guys are just talented as ever, and they just love playing football.
What year is Olave relative to you?
Oh, goodness.
Did you play with Chris?
Yeah, I played with Chris. He left my junior year.
So that would have been 2021 season.
It was the year that we won the Rose Bowl. He sat out, and that was the game where Jackson
had 1 billion yards. Yeah. So 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, so in his first 4 years, I saw this yesterday. I was just trying to make sure that was correct. He's at 1,000 yards, Chris Olave, which I feel like he doesn't get talked about as much because he's in New Orleans, and they're not any good right now. Yeah. You realize he's at 1,000 yards in every season except for one, 3 of his first 4, and that was a year where he only played 8 games. And that's with like me playing quarterback out there for him.
Yeah, and that's surprising considering just how many like injuries he's had throughout that time span. So the fact that he's able to go through those injuries and still pick up 1,000 yards a year, and he's doing it just so quietly because again, like New Orleans, like not a lot of chatter going on over there, but it just shows that like he's as consistent as it comes whenever like you talk about wide receivers.
Does it surprise you as well with that room? Because you play with a lot of these guys, so you're a great resource. Excuse me. Oh, humid out here, man. It's the sinuses going a little bit. Like you talk about Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, like all of the guys that they've had. Emeka Egbuka, like I'm probably forgetting guys. And none of those guys still are really like big talkers or personalities. Does it surprise you? Because a lot of times receivers, they're kind of, I call them the show ponies, man. Like they're the dudes that are out there. They're the peacocks. They always want to make sure that like everybody's seeing them. I play with T.O. He was always, all about that. Like a lot of receivers, they're all about, the spotlight, the limelight, and, making a big production. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, all this stuff. And none of those guys are really that dude. Like, is that surprising to you?
No. And again, of course, we're biased, but I really do think it's Ohio State's culture. Because if you come in with that sort of mindset and attitude, Coach Mick is going to wipe that off your face immediately. Like he
Ooh.
doesn't go for those just like bright lights kind of guys. He wants someone that's going to come in, work hard. It doesn't matter how many yards or touchdowns they have. They're always going to strive for more. And I think that's what we're seeing like with Ohio State receivers. Just the fact that Coach Mick has gotten into their faces early on, made sure they weren't going to go be those prima donnas that you see across college football and National Football League, and make sure that they're going to be just grounded dudes that love ball.
So is that surprising given like Hartline was Captain Flash out there? You walk around, he'd always have his little tight jeans on. I say this because Brian was like a freshman my senior year, him and Laurinaitis. Brian have all his like designer clothes. Like he's the dude that like a 14 wristband, like 14 little bracelets on and everything. So you got like Captain Flash who's out there leading the room, and then all the dudes are just humble grinders underneath him.
I didn't even realize he was like that.
Oh, Hart, dude, he always had a little hair done.
Flash.
Look at all that. He got that full sleeve tattoo now. I mean, he's up in his game, coach. He's up in the game.
I didn't know that, but I mean, I guess if he lived that life, maybe he's better equipped to tell him like, hey, don't do this. Even though he had a great career at Ohio State.
Yeah, great. Good. Hey, a very solid career in the NFL too. He had a couple seasons, over 75 catches, 1,000 yards. Not bad for just a kid from Canton. Tell you about our friends over at Export. Parents and athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouth guards. Trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber, custom fit to your own unique smile. They 3D print that bad boy to your grill for more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication. That way you're focusing on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby today and save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up next. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer. Welcome back into the program, and we're going to talk about a guy coming in who, since we're talking about wide receivers and wide receiver U, and we're going to talk about a guy who had a very unique path to get to Ohio State with how he ended up getting here. A guy named Legend Bay. You familiar with a fellow named Legend Bay?
Yeah, that's the dude who was committed to Tennessee and then flipped over because like his parents maybe had a say in it.
So his mom, I think, would kind of committed him to Tennessee, and he wanted to come here, committed to Ohio State. And then I think that there was some things going on where maybe Tennessee was, they were going to take care of his mom a little bit on the NIL side, but he really wanted to come to Ohio State. And this is one of the things, I mean, you got great parents, Steele. And my dad always told me, because people are like, what, my dad played, where are you going to send your kid? As if like it was him like telling me where to go to school. And his line always to me was, you're the one that's got to get up and do the work. Mm-hmm. So you're not blaming me if I tell you to go somewhere and it doesn't work out, because you've got to love it and you've got to believe in it. And it's just as through your career, Steele, like it ain't all sunshines and rainbows when you wake up every day. Like, hey, rolling in there, like, hey, Steele, we're going to make you the starting tailback. You're going to get the ball 25 times a game, play for 3 years, and be a top 10 pick. Like, yep, that's exactly how it's going to work. And that line of acceleration is going to be there. Reality is, it's like you get there, like, wow, these guys are all really good. Yeah. Wow, it's going to be hard to get on the field. Gosh, the coach is yelling at me a lot more than he did when we were recruited. Like, I thought we were buddies. Tony, I thought you and me were pals, amigos. Like, what do you mean I can't pick up a blitz protection? Like, what are we talking about? I thought you said I was good at that in high school. That's why you like me, because I was a big, strong guy. And so Legend Bay ultimately then comes to Ohio State. He signs with Tennessee. They let him out, and he comes to Ohio State. So Ryan Day was finally able to talk about everybody and everything and what he was able to do. And it's an unbelievable line that he has about him. Since we're talking about wide receiver U, he's a U.S. Army All-American. And I'm curious to see how much and if like they're going to try to deploy him this year. But if we can throw this up, it's a lot of Buckeye fans only threw it up there. Ohio State true freshman Legend Bay can do it all. He's a former high school quarterback. So he's got a little Braxton Miller to him, you feel?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it'll be easier now making this transition a little earlier than Braxton did. Going to line up a little wide receiver, maybe a little running back. Ryan Day says, I've called him the poor man's Tyreek Hill. He's lightning in a bottle. It would be pretty special if this is even like halfway true, if he's that explosive and that dynamic with the ball in his hand, being able to run it and run some routes.
I didn't think he was going to be that jacked. Goodness gracious. I mean, dude, I see him being a fantastic slot guy, and then someone that you could throw in the Wildcat, maybe some packages where you put him at running back. But I mean, just looking at him, it looks like he's going to be an absolute weapon. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with him.
What you said right there, like a lot of times when guys come in, you know, still they're a little thinner from high school, like you're just younger, man, and you haven't been in the Mickey Marotti program. And we'll do a whole show basically on that, of what that offseason looks like, and talk about that as we start getting into, you know, the mat drills and all the stuff. But did you never played with Curtis Samuel, did you? He was probably like playing when you were getting recruited, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he was before me.
So Curtis was like a high school running back, a little thinner, Erasmus High School out of Brooklyn, comes in, and you've seen him in the NFL, he plays like wide out, but they would play him at running back. They'd flex him in the slot, do some different things with him. But he was a guy who just wanted to get the ball in his hand, whether it was on a jet sweep, whether it was in the backfield, whether it was underneath, you know, run him through the middle of the field, because everybody's like, oh, we're going to play up for the tunnel screens and all that stuff. And then boom, you run him right down their face. But he kind of reminds me of a little bit like that. And if, you know, Curtis had elite straight line speed, pretty good agility, but I was amazed, like you said, with Legend, when he showed up, like, dude, like there's some pop to his arms.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some legs to him, and maybe he could be a little bit like Malachi Toney for what we saw with Miami. And I think that would provide a layer and a dimension to this offense that maybe they haven't seen. They've got some really good receivers, but somebody that you can kind of have do a little bit of both still.
Absolutely. I mean, just having that kind of Swiss Army knife, that's an awesome asset to have on your offense. And we've seen it throughout the years, like a Tavon Austin or a Percy Harvin, just guys that are wide receivers, but they're able to kind of split time between outside at wide receiver and then possibly in the backfield. Or like you said, like motion them like around, have them like go on a jet sweep. So it just makes a defense really worry, because you never know where that guy's going to be. You never know how he's going to hurt you, if it's going to be deep, if it's going to be short on a screen in the backfield. That's a hard thing to prepare for. And if they can get him ready early on to kind of play that role of a Swiss Army knife and do whatever, that's just going to make it a lot better for this offense.
You love it. You love it. You love to see it. And will be pretty exciting. Hopefully they'll be able to use them. It's tough to be a freshman, you know, and get out there, but if you can package some things for them, I think it'll be really, really good. I want to tell you about our friends at Backer, the sports apparel, the clothing that you're looking for. It looks good. It feels good. It's checking all of the boxes, from wind to rain to cold. It will warm up in Columbus or in the Midwest and most of the country still. I was down in Miami and they had coats on down there. It was like 45 degrees before I flew down here to Curacao. So you need this stuff everywhere. They've got all kinds of teams. They continue to have teams and colors. So please go check them out. I've got it. I love it. Schleichs has it. We're going to get you some, Steele. I promise you that. So you'll be able to look good in your Buckeye gear and feel good with it too. It's like the elite skiing, golf, fishing, hunting clothes that you want. It's got all the functions and features you can find. Use promo code all caps Bobby at checkout for an extra 10% off. That's Backer, bckr.com, bckr.com. Go check them out. We have our headlines coming up next, and they release some semifinal dates coming up. And I feel like we might be going backwards, Steele. But sometimes maybe you got to go backwards to go forwards. We'll talk about it next here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.
Every winning play starts somewhere. For you, it could be with us. At Smart Choice Bass, we bring the showroom to you with no pressure and no long sale pitches. Just real options that fit your home and budget. This is your opportunity to win a full bathroom remodel for free. It's easy to enter. Just scan the QR code below, give us a call, or stop by one of our showrooms. One lucky winner will be announced every 6 months, so don't wait.
Columbus, listen up. Smart Choice Baths has officially arrived in our city, and they're kicking things off with a massive win to celebrate the new division. They have partnered with me and Big Play to give away a complete bathroom remodel valued up to $10,000. We're talking a brand new shower tub installed for free. No purchase necessary. Just go to smartchoicebaths.com or scan the QR code to enter right now. That's smartchoicebaths.com. Get it on this before the prize period ends, and don't let your bathroom sit on the bench any longer.
Welcome back into the program. And as we look at this, they put out some of the dates for the college football playoffs, some of the changes, Pat, that are out there. And I don't know if everybody's going to be ultimately happy with these 2026 semifinal dates. And as we look at this, they announced the dates for next year's bowl games. In the next 2 years, teams will basically have 2 weeks off after the quarterfinals, which I don't know if anybody's excited about. Like, hey, have a playoff game, sit for like 12 days. That doesn't sound very good at all, Steele.
No, not at all. And as a coach, it's going to be really hard preparing your team for that because you got to keep them ready for that game. But you don't want 10 straight days of padded practices where you're going to like have them gassed and possibly hurt. So it's going to be a fine line trying to figure out how to prepare for that.
Well, it's hard, like you said, to keep them sharp.
Yeah.
While also making sure that you're not like beating the hell out of your guys. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. Like you can even Indiana, they're the first team to have a bye to win a game, which is crazy to think. Now I know 2 years ago it was a little different. Last year they finally got at least the top 4 seeds. Even Indiana started a little slow against Alabama. Like they came out, they went 3 and out, a couple sacks on the first drive. Then they started getting it rolling. They ultimately smoke Alabama. So that's good. But it wasn't like they just rolled in there, like bam, hit the ground running. So like people are kind of upset about that. The quarterfinals will be held on December 30th. National title game will be on January 25th. So basically you're playing like around kind of 12 days off, but it's like 3 games over basically a month, which kind of stinks, man. Like that 25th, like this year it was the 22nd or 21st. Like I think Ohio State's was the 20th. It just keeps moving back. And I don't know if this is positive. And this is the thing. They've got to get this playoff expansion locked in and what it looks like, because still you've got to reserve these dates in these stadiums because they have concerts and everything else, NFL and all that stuff. So you got to get this figured out here sooner rather than later.
I mean, based off this timeline, when is the middle of the season? Like the 11th week of the year?
Yeah.
So November?
You know what it is? It'll be that the 31st, that USC game is basically what it is, Halloween. You know, it's like the NFL.
Dude, it might be even later. I mean, like that's what are you working with? Almost 2 months where you're going to be fitting in 3 to 4 games whenever you could fit like 7, 8. Like I don't understand the timing. I thought that like the way that people wanted it was move everything up so you're not playing these games late into almost February, because that's throwing off things like school, that's throwing off the NFL schedule, throwing off spring ball for the coming year. But for some reason, they're working in reverse, and now they're extending the season whenever everyone wanted it to be shortened. I don't know how you come to that decision. Obviously, it's someone that's not really in tune with what people want. And, I mean, maybe they can find a way to get this changed, but I really don't like this schedule. This is really bad.
Yeah. So hopefully they get that. You're right. It's not even the 31st. It's more like probably November, like 15th. Like that's like week 11, week 10 or 11 will be that time, not even the 8th, because that's only 2 months really in. And it's just, there's just so much downtime. You feel like you lose that momentum. And even as a fan, this year it felt like it was dragging on, and people go, it's because Ohio State's not playing. I go, no, last year it felt like it was dragging on too, when you started to dive into it and ultimately take a look at it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to have our Tailgate Talk coming up next. We'll answer some of your questions and look at your comments. There's a great one about Steele, which I can't wait to hear his thoughts on it, coming up next. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer. Welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And one of these comments, Steele, people love hyping you up, and we're going to get a new graphic. I know someone was, hyping up, like, we need to get Steele in there. I'm like, yeah, we got to figure this out. It kind of came out of nowhere. And thankfully, Steele, like Batman, was able to answer the call. When Shake's like, hey, bro, next week I might not be able to do this anymore. And I'm like, it's like Tuesday, dude. Like, what do you like? How hard it? It's like I'm not finding like someone to go to dinner with. I'm trying to find somebody that A, wants to do this every day, B, can do it every day, and C, is like halfway decent at it. And we can work through this. And so thankfully, I want a former player and maybe a guy that's like a little younger, kind of help you get into the scene. So you kind of checked all those boxes. But one of the comments in here from Reggie Hohenberger said, Steele is built like a Chevy Malibu, decent looking, plenty of pep, and can go the distance. I'm not even sure what that means, but I think it's awesome.
Yeah, a Chevy Malibu.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it? Decent looking, can go the distance, and
hold on. Decent looking, plenty of pep, and can go the distance.
Oh, that's an interesting word to throw in there. Plenty of pep. I think I got some pep to me, but I've never been described like that before. I'll take it. I like it. I'll be Chevy Malibu.
Yeah. Some comments. This was also on our last show. We were talking about Travion Henderson, maybe throwing a couple shekels on him on MVP for the Super Bowl, because it's 12,500 plus 12,500. Like it's pretty good odds, man, for a guy that literally, Steele, as you know, super fast. All it takes is him to bust one, and then he's got a pretty good shot. I'm not saying put the nest egg on it, but if you want to throw 10 or 20 bucks at it, seems pretty good. So in Henderson, 20 carries, $135 and 2 touchdowns, 26-27 New England Patriots win. I don't know if he's going to get 20 carries, but I think if he gets over 9 touches, I think he's got a pretty good shot at being able to pop one. And if you pop one, Steele, then man, you're going to be on every graphic going in and out, because they're going to show back to Texas. They're going to show all his runs that he had this year. I think he's the third player in NFL history to have 2 games of 50-yard runs in each game. Like, and this is going back in the entire history of the NFL. I mean, it's crazy, like his numbers and what he's been able to do.
I mean, dude's got endless pop. If he gets out in open space, you can't bring him down. All he has to do is just get past that cybernetic android that's Nick Imawari. And if he's able to do that, I think he'll go the distance. I mean, dude is just unreal.
What was it like? And this is one of the things that people don't realize when you have to go against guys in one-on-ones. So for a linebacker, like, you love one-on-one pass rush against the running backs. My dad played running back. He's like, yeah, I hated going against Lawrence Taylor in practice. But then when we got to go one-on-one pass routes, different story, much harder than for the linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're on blast. How tough was that going against Trey back in the day?
It sucked. And I mean, I was a little better at it in practice because I know all of their routes. Like, Coach Alfred has his little thing where he'll sit in the back. He'll like give them a little route. And a lot of times, like, I'll peek over there, I'll see what they're doing, and it helps me. But once they stop your feet and you just kind of hear that typewriter, that's their feet, like, you're beat. I mean, and they're just so quick out of their break. If they like square you up where you don't like have a certain side of them, then they can go either way. You're just kind of guessing at that point, red or black. And most of the time you're going to pick wrong, and they just make you look foolish. I mean, it's hard to guard those guys.
And you were on both sides of this. So you got a chance to like do the blitz pickup, which sucks. And then you get a chance for running backs. And then obviously the one-on-ones is much more advantage. It flips obviously for the defensive side. So some pretty good stuff right there. All right, we're about done with our tailgate talk. We're going to wrap this up, and we're going to come back. And our guy, Steele Chambers, is going to embark some wisdom as we are rolling in to this Super Bowl Sunday, the final game of the 2025-2026 football season, college, NFL, all of it. We'll be wrapping up. We'll see what Steele has to say as we roll forward, coming up next.
Every winning play starts somewhere. For you, it could be with us. At Smart Choice Bass, we bring the showroom to you with no pressure and no long sale pitches. Just real options that fit your home and budget. This is your opportunity to win a full bathroom remodel for free. It's easy to enter. Just scan the QR code below, give us a call, or stop by one of our showrooms. One lucky winner will be announced every 6 months, so don't wait.
All right, Steele, let's drop some wisdom on the folks. Or maybe it can be something funny. Like, it can be whatever you want it to be. The world's your oyster.
This one's interesting. It was told to us by a cop back in the Peach Bowl down here in Atlanta, right before we went through bowl week, before the Georgia game. And the quote was, "Everything that jiggles isn't Jello." Now, this was directed at prostitution, but
I love this.
There's some real world connections and some real world answers to this. Like, whenever you think about that quote, you could also kind of say, like, everything that shine isn't gold. So a lot of times people, they like to take the easy route, whether that's maybe like a certain job that they don't love, but it's just for the money or whatever that may be. But usually the right path is something that has a little bit more struggle, something where you've got to work a little harder. So my big thing is today, don't always go for the easiest path. Go for the path that's going to make you a better person, even if that's a harder path.
Everything that glitters isn't gold. Everything that jiggles isn't Jello. That is some sage advice, some sage wisdom, Steele. I mean, I appreciate that. And I mean, even in a city like Atlanta, I mean, some things don't jiggle. They're just all silicone anyway. So you get a little bit of that going, not as much gravity, a lot more firmness and texture. So we love that. We've got the Super Bowl coming up here rolling along. We'll see how many other shows we can get in this week. I'll be traveling again to hopefully get one more at least in as we roll along. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you again to Steele and our guy Pat. A lot of fun shows. I want to get into something else too, because the Minnesota Vikings GM got fired, and some people they're dropping out. Maybe some of his took some paternity leave during the season. We're going to get into a big conversation about how football works versus the real world. We'll do that here at some point in the future. But thank you for tuning into this edition of the Bobby Carpenter Show. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you.